This is part one of the 69 Camaro LS1 project. So, sitting in epoxy primer. Obviously, a lot of body work underway. So this is going to be my son's car. It was mine when I was young. So to get him into the hobby, I decided to give it to him. So as you can see, we've been doing a little body work on it. Might get to spray some primer today. Cover up these roughed in body areas and then wet sand it, and I think we'll be getting pretty close to painting it. So just trying to get everything lined up. This hood on this side looks really good, and then if you look on this side, it gets smaller toward the back. So things like that are always a challenge. Pretty happy with this fender, so I don't think I'm going to be doing a lot of adjustments to it. I started off with the doors and adjusted the doors to the body and then worked my way forward. So hopefully my next video will be this same stage, just with another coat of primer over the existing bodywork, and then starting to do some wet sanding, try to get these fenders and doors to not be so wavy. And just a sneak peek. The LS1's already in it. Unfortunately, I did not video any of that, but pretty major project getting it in there. Not as straightforward as it could have been. But anyway, runs really nice. This one's hooked up to the T56 6-speed. So that was also fun to get that in there. And there's the vintage air. I wish I would have videoed that. That probably would have been helpful for some people. So this car originally was a 250 straight six with the power glide, manual steering, factory air conditioning, manual brakes. So obviously it now has power brakes, and it's got 13-inch disc off of a ZR1 Corvette. Again, that probably would have been another video, good video to make, but I'm new to YouTube, at least videos, so this is this is really my first one. So you guys be kind to me. Like I said, it's going to be my 17-year-old son's car, so he picked out the rims, and he's going to pick out the paint scheme. Gunmetal gray with the black rally stripes. So we're probably going to shoot it right here in the garage. I shot this Mustang. Sometimes it takes me more than once to paint them. It's definitely an art, not a science. But this car is starting to come along. I mean, you can see that there's a little waviness to the doors. We'll get that out. Might lower that fender just a little bit. It just takes time, obviously. But after we spray it, I'll take another video, and you can kind of see and follow along with some of the body work. This is a hobby of mine. I'm not an expert. So, definitely there's more than one way to skin cats for sure, and there's more than one way to sand a 69 Camaro, or paint a 69 Camaro. But I think it's coming out pretty good. We did put this tail light panel in, so I think it came out pretty good. It had a big dent in it. Someone had rear-ended me. In this lower quarter, we welded in. You can probably see the seam right there. So I got a little more sanding to do there. And we got some little pinholes. That's typical with filler. So anyway, just a pet peeve of mine. Don't let anyone tell you that there's cars out there without filler in them, because there's not. Either they sprayed 15 coats of sandable primer, which is a filler, right? Or they put filler. These cars don't line up like the new cars. And I think even the new cars probably have a little bit of filler on them. So anyway, as long as you don't overuse it and abuse it, filler's the body man's best friend. So you can see the gaps are pretty good. You can keep messing with it and get them perfect, but it does take a lot of time. So that's the project, and I'm gonna try to start making videos along the way. Luckily, I've got some support machines here to help me out, and that was a big help during the LS1 fit, to modify brackets and bushings and adapters and spacers. And I'll start making some videos on using these guys. And my shop is a big freaking mess, but you can see I've got lots of cool projects in the wait. And we just had a hurricane come by, and that's why those lawn chairs are in here. So hopefully get some time to reorganize this, maybe get rid of that couch, and then we'll do a nice shop tour once it's organized. But these were very helpful, putting the LS1 in. Not a necessity. I've done a lot with the drill press in the past to modify things, drill press and an angle grinder. This is just a little more precise, obviously, and a little more enjoyable, but you can definitely put an LS1 in a Camaro without a mill and a lathe. But and then I'll definitely do a video on turning this garage into a paint booth, which is not a trivial task. I like to hang plastic up all along the top and let it drape down to try to keep the dust down. And I also need to do something with the lighting in here. The lighting's pretty bad. So, just maybe a quick look at the interior. Probably should have videoed that. Definitely recovering the seats and doing the console and the little gauges and all. And it's not 100% done yet. We don't have the back seats in yet. The weather's dripping, but like I said, I'll start trying to do some videos because I know that'd be very helpful. I watched a lot of videos. I usually watch a video or two before I do anything now, and I've definitely learned some valuable lessons. And if I can save someone some time and a little bit of heartache, I think it's definitely worth getting some videos out there. But so this is the project, and it's probably going to be a 20-part series would be my guess, even at this stage. It's drivable now. I mean, we drive it up and down the street. It's not street legal yet. We don't have insurance on it, but we do drive it up and down the street here, and it seems to run great. Definitely like the fuel injection and the 6-speed. Probably gonna have to do some rear end work as far as getting a posi and a different gear in there. It's got a 3.0, which with a 6-speed really doesn't make sense. So definitely I'll do a video on that. I'll probably set the gears up myself. So I'm sure there's a lot of those out there on YouTube, but it'll be good to get another one, I think. This is a 10-bolt, unfortunately. I don't know if you saw when I was showing the mill. We've got another Camaro back there. That one has the 12-bolt. Yeah, probably should put the 12-bolt in this, but not right now, maybe later. And that'll also be a really good video. So definitely stay tuned, because you know, I'll talk a little bit about getting that primer on there, covering up these areas, and then starting to get some wet sanding going, and getting it ready to get some shiny paint on it. You know, that's what it's all about. A little stressful painting them, but you know, you kind of never know what you're gonna end up with. I'm still using the cheap Harbor Freight guns. I've used a $300 DeVilvis in the past, and you know, I don't notice a whole lot of difference. So yeah, well, look forward to seeing some comments. Again, be gentle on me. First video for YouTube. Really doing it to maybe help out somebody that's doing a similar project. And you know, I'm definitely a do-it-yourself type of person. I don't farm out anything on this build here, and maybe I'll do a video about this build. You know, I did everything with the exception of those Mach 1 stripes down the side. I farmed that out, and but as far as painting it and getting this blacked out hood, engine, transmission, interior, brakes, all the steering, suspension, everything I went through this. So definitely do everything myself. Not sure why I farmed out the stripes. They were pretty pricey, and I didn't want to screw them up, I think is why. But I think with enough time and patience, I could have done that one. So this is pretty dirty right now, but we'll clean this car up at some point, and we'll do a walk around on it, and we'll talk about some things there about this guy. It's kind of a cool car as well. But anyway, so stay tuned. Hopefully we'll call this part 1, and then part 2 we'll have some primer on it, or maybe I'll show, you know, masking it off, which is not a trivial task either, and doing the grease and wax remover. You know, getting all my fingerprints and oils off the paint. So maybe we'll show a little bit about that for some of you other do-it-yourselfers that are spraying in the garage and you know, just not sure what to do next. I like to get them out in the driveway, blow them off real good, and then wash them down, and then hit them with that the grease and wax remover. Alrighty, be looking for part 2.